which allows you to invite people and that sort of thing. And then in the extreme right, there's a leave meeting button, and you should all have that. So it's okay. I'll hand over to Pete now anyway, who will tell us all about Heavens Above.
Heavens Above, yep. I had to say, this is one of the sections I was going to try and do live, to say at the meetings, but obviously we can't do that. So it's actually going to be easier to do it here online, to be truthful. Now, Heavens Above is a fantastic website. It's full of information. I'll just go through it one by one. It does take a little bit of learning, but you can choose just what you want, what sections. Now, the best thing to do is, well, if you ever go on to Heavens Above, is to actually make yourself an account. You can see my account's up here in the top right-hand corner. I've logged in, and you put in your actual location as well. Now, the reason for doing that is that it will give you precise timings of passings of like the ISS and other satellites and things like that. If I remember right, Bill did actually make one up for Sigma, but I can't remember the login details. I'll have to go go into my history and find it somewhere. Okay, now on the left-hand side down here, we have all of the links. Okay, all the way down here. I'm going to go through these one at a time and show you what you can actually see. Now, this is a fairly new one, which is ISS. Oh, sorry, let's go with these first. This is your sort of configuration. You can change your location in there if you want to. Now, I've got 2 in my box because I made one up for when we went down the Bothy, so I could change to Thomas Hill if I wanted to. Okay, so I've got Focke-Wulf and Thomas Hill. Right, so, and obviously you got your log out button there. So this one here is the ISS Interaction 3D. It's a bit of fun, I think, this one. They've made it up for nothing else, reason for that. Well, you can actually imagine that you're flying above the ISS across the Earth, and it shows you in the globe here whereabouts you are. And you can scroll down. My mouse is getting a bit slow because I'm running 2 things at the same time. And you can move it around a bit if you want. Have a look over there. You can zoom in and zoom out, he says. It's not going to do it for me tonight, though. Okay. But I say, it's quite interesting. The other night when the ISS was passing, I was watching this, because I thought, hang on, is the time set for GMT or BST? And I thought, right, if I watch this, as soon as I see it, I know it's overhead, and then we're fine. But the time on Heavens Above here is actually, it alters itself for BST or GMT. So whatever it says is what the time we're on at the moment. Okay. As I say, we should be able to zoom in and out, but it's not going to let me do it. So if you want to go back to your home page, 1 second, the mouse has just froze up for some reason. There we go. So to head back to the home page, you just click this up here. Okay. All right, so the next one down from this is one that really gets my blood boiling. You remember the Starlink satellites that our friend Mr. Tesla is putting up there? This shows you where they are at the moment. Now I thought, well, that ain't too bad. That's not too bad at all. That's, there's not that many of them, until I noticed this little drop-down box. And this is all the ones and the dates they were launched. Okay. So if we go to February, there's quite a few there. Okay, there's Focke-Wulf again. So these are going to affect me a little bit. Well, affect us all a little bit. Okay. So that is just the ones that Starlink 4, which was launched on the 14th of February 2020. And then you got January, November, and May. And this is just, I think, the first. This is only about 20% of the ones he's going to be putting up there. So it's going to make our observing a little bit difficult, I think, in the future. So you can move this around again, have a look, see where they are if you want to, but I'm not going to stay too long on there because it makes my blood boil a bit. Okay, so we'll head back to the home page. That's a Starlink. If you want to know where his Tesla has gone to, you can click on this one, and this will give you an animation from launch to where it is, to where it is now. So remember, he sent the rocket man up there in his Tesla with his arm on the window. Okay. So that shows you where it was, and the date is below. Oops. Down here. You can move it on a bit if you want to. Do it manually. And you can come up to here. So you can see it's now actually in orbit, going out past Mars, all the way back into Earth's orbit again, then goes back out. So another bit of space junkies put up there. Okay, so we're back to the home page again. I won't go through all of these. Certain opportunities for Bepi Colombo. That's the one that's off to Mercury, I believe, isn't it? Oh, it's another sun. Unfortunately, when it comes close to the Earth again, it's going to be, well, I'll just bring it up to show you so you can have a look, because these sort of new things come up quite often. As I say, this is going to be the time when it passes the Earth, and the date is at the top. But if you actually click into the closest approach, it gives you a chart. I had a map somewhere, but I can't find it for a moment. 1 minute. The map was below. Here we go. Here was the map. Unfortunately, when it comes closest, which was around about this time, it's going to be below it's a southern, a sort of southern hemisphere object. We won't be able to see it from here, so it's not a lot of cop to us really. But it just gives, just show to keep an eye out now and again, just on heavens above. You get these little new symbols flashing up, and you just have a look into it and see what what it actually is. Okay. So the one below it is this is a real good one if you want to spot the ISS. Okay. So you click into this one, and if you're logged in, then we will give you any visible passes over your area. Okay. At the minute, it says here no visible passes in search period. Your search period is here, 10-day search period from today until the 17th. So what you can do, if you click the forward arrow, it goes to the 17th to the 27th. Still no visible passes. Next one, here we go. So it gives you a visible pass now. So the first time we're going to see the ISS again, it's going to be on the 1st of May at 04:27 in the morning. Okay. Now the real good thing about this one is if you click on the date, it gives you a star map. Okay. And it shows you where you're going to see it in the sky. Okay. The ISS always goes from west to east, always. You can't stop and turn around and go the other way. It's impossible. Orbital mechanics doesn't work like that. Okay, so you'll see it rise quite low in the south. Just bring us down a bit more. Almost sort of due south. You'll see it comes out the shadow, so it lights up. And then it'll go past Jupiter and Saturn. And then at 04:30, it'll start getting closer to the horizon again, until 04:32 when it vanishes on below the horizon. Okay, so it's a really good one. So if you ever want to find it, you think, well, where's it going to be? You can just click into that. And so as you go further through the month, through the time either gets earlier or later, and then it becomes an evening object. And normally, when it becomes an evening object, there we go, 11 o'clock. Click into that one. It's normally a little bit higher up as well, I think. This time it isn't, but there we go. Gives you another map there. So it's always a good way to find the ISS on here. It really is. What it also does as well here, it gives you the brightness of it, because obviously changing with the brightness, depending on how high it is and how much of the shadow it's going into. Gives you I'll go across the 7th of May, gives you the time it starts, time at its highest point, and the time it ends. Okay. Oh, sorry, just give me that. Right. So that's the ISS. Go back to the home page again. So ISS. Starlink passes from launch. I'll go into that to show you. This is actually quite horrific. So this is the ones that are visible, okay, over my place or over our place, from Britain basically. tonight and tomorrow. I'll just scroll down so you can see how many there are. And I say there's only about 20% of the ones he's putting up there. Every 2 minutes, there's 2 of them going over together. It's absolutely horrendous. So we're now in the 8th. It's going to make astrophotography very, very difficult, I think. Let's say I'll come off of that because it annoys me. All right. This one here, you've got daily predictions of very bright satellites. You can go into that and see if you're interested in looking at satellites. You know, go in there and it'll show you. Once again, you can get your star map up. This is quite an interesting one. Spacecraft escaping the solar system. If you ever wonder where Voyager and Pioneer and all those are now, you can go into here and find out. So here we've got New Horizons. That was the one that went past Pluto. 2012 was it? 15? Can't remember. This is Voyager 2, Pioneer 11, and Voyager 1, and there's Pioneer 10 at the top there. So that's a plan view looking from the top of the solar system. There's an edge-on view. So you can see that Voyager 1 shooting up that way. New Horizons is coming straight out. And Pioneer 11 is on an angle there, and Voyager 2 is going that way. So they actually split Voyager 1 and 2 apart, and they went different directions into interstellar space. I think that's it on this page. There's anything below. No, that's. You've also got a chart that tells you how far away they are from the sun. So 1AU, remember, is the mean distance of Earth from the sun, 93 million miles. The Pioneer 10 is 125 astronomical units away, and it gives you the speed it's traveling at, 11 kilometers a second, relative to the sun. All sorts of stuff in there. If you want to try and find it, it even gives you the right ascension and declination if you want. If your telescope's that good, I know mine isn't. Okay, right. Back to the home page. Amateur radio satellites. If you're into amateur radio, you can go into that one. I'm not. And the one there gives you the height of the ISS as well. I don't know why they've got that in, but you see that the ISS actually, they keep boosting it back up. And I'm not sure what that is. How's he got it on the key? Oh, height in kilometers. So that's how high it is from the Earth in kilometers. 420 kilometers high. Right, but this is the section we really like, is the astronomy section. Now, okay, solar eclipses is really handy if you're an eclipse chaser, because you can look into the future and see where the eclipses are going to take place and what type they are. So the first one coming up is an annular eclipse. Now, annular means it's not full; it's just going to take part of it away. Okay. Well, sorry, annular, it's not full, it's a case that it won't cover the whole of the sun. The moon is at its furthest distance, so it's not big enough to cover the whole sun. So that's what annular means. And this is where you're going to be able to see it from, the shaded areas. So there's Britain, then we won't see that one. Once again, we've got a total one coming up on the 14th of the 12th. I'm going to work out which way around they do these. The American, that's got to be the 14th of December. Okay, so once again, we're not going to be able to see that one. But this annular one here on the 10th of the 6th, we should be able to see. Okay, if we click into it, you get a bigger map. And you can see how, so the red line here shows you where the totality is, where, you know, we're going to get the maximum shadow, and it obviously spreads out less and less and less the further south or north you go with that. For Britain there, we're going to get about 0.4, so just under half of what you get at totality. Okay. And below is the information. So it gives you the date and it gives you the time. So when it first comes in, when you get so what's called the penumbra, you get the umbra, and then maximum eclipses at that time. So all the information is there if you want to plan your your total eclipse watching. So it doesn't do just this year. You can go right up to, I'm going to go up to then, because I'm planning one for then. And the one I'm planning is if I can find the right one, is this one here. This one here. This is your path of totality running, and this is the total eclipse, by the way, runs all the way across here and all the way across there. Just about there is where my uncle and cousin live. So I'm planning on going over to Canada on that day to see the total eclipse. Okay, but as I say, you can go in there, have a look around, see which ones you're going to we are going to be able to see, or if you want to travel, if you're planning a holiday, you plan a holiday towards it. So all your dates and times is there. Okay, so it's really, really handy. Solar eclipse chasing. Right, once again, just click there, back to the home page. An interactive sky chart. This is really, really handy if you want to see what the sky, if you want to plan any observing nights. You might recognize this. We have used it at the meeting sometimes. It has been in some of the newsletters, news and views. So when you open it, it will come up to what the actual sky looks at now. What sky, how it is. But what you can do up here, say, oh, I know, the weather says it's going to be good in 2 days' time. You can put your day up, 9 days. You know it's not going to be dark until probably about 9 o'clock properly now, so you can put your time up to 2053. Therefore, you've got your sky chart for that time, and away you go. This is the actual interactive version. So when you go into it, a bit slow because I'm doing this as well, but every star you actually come onto, Polaris there, it will give you the magnitude, the spectral type, the range. It will give you the right ascension declination as well. So if you're looking for a certain star, there's something around a certain star, you can use that to get your telescope pointing in the right direction. It tells you what constellation it's in, and it gives you the actual Hipparchus number as well. And as well as your altitude and azimuth. If you're on an altitude and azimuth mount, you can use that. Okay. Really, really handy. So we use this in the news and views. Now this is the one you will know more if you actually do read the newsletter. This is the one we use there because Crispy has given us permission to use it. This is just your basic one. There's no interaction on it, so it takes up a lot less memory. Sorry, I'm going to say that previous one as well, you can download it as a PDF or you can actually print it out too on the interactive one. Once again, you can still, with this one at the bottom, you still change your time and date, okay? Or if you prefer it, you can have it black on white, so doing that, update it. Okay, you can have it that way around. Many things you can do with this, many things. It's really, really handy. The good thing is it's free as well. It's a free website. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we'll head on down a little bit further. The sun, if there's any solar watchers, solar observers out there. This one tells you where the sun is. Well, I think we all know where the sun is because we can look up and see it. And it gives you all your spring equinox times and all that sort of stuff in here. Or if you carry on down, it actually gives you the latest image from the SDO satellites, the Sun Dynamic Observatory, I think that stands for. As you can see, there's no sunspots visible at all at the moment. Very, very quiet. So if you're a solar observer and you like looking at sunspots, then this will always keep up to date. Okay, so we've got the moon. Is the next one. The position of the moon. In Virgo at the moment. And once again, here you've got all your dates for when it's new, first quarter, when it's full, last quarter, and new again. Okay. So we can start doing a bit of comet hunting again, probably around about the 15th, 16th of October. Oh, April, sorry. And it gives you the phase as well in here. This is the phase of the moon. Let's say full moon is in what is sort of tomorrow at 3:35, so it's 4 tonight. Where are we? New planets. This is a quite handy one as well. Now, this chart may look a little bit confusing, but it's just separated out into each planet of the solar system. Okay, well, including a dwarf planet over here, look, Pluto. So it gives you its sort of position in space, and we'll just work with work with Mercury from there. And we do with Venus, because Venus is actually visible. So this is the right ascension, 4 hours, 1 minute, 33.5 seconds. This is your declination, 24 degrees, 46 minutes, 29 seconds. Not sure what the range. Oh, well, yeah, that's how far it is from us, I believe. So 0.6 of an MU, astronomical unit. The elongation from the sun, the angle it is from the sun. Its brightness, you can see Venus very, very bright, minus 4.3 magnitude. If you compare that with the like of, say, Uranus, which is 5.9, so it's way off the other end of the scale. It gives you its diameter, phase. Now the phase, the inner planets do actually show phases like the moon. I don't know if you realise this, and because they're orbiting around the sun, obviously, just like the moon, you'll get a crescent, you get a quarter, you get a full, and then back the other way. Okay, and so it tells you the phase. So at the minute, Venus is 98.2% full. Okay. It gives you the time it rises, time it sets, its altitude. It's lovely and high at the minute, Venus. You get a chance to just clear tonight, get it, and have a look. Once again, it's azimuth. So the azimuth is how far above it is above the horizon. Okay. I think no, from the equator. I think it is. I don't use azimuth that often, so don't quote me on that. And it gives you the time of inferior conjunction. Now, inferior conjunction is when it's on the other side of the sun. No, sorry, when it's in between us and the sun. And no, I got it wrong now. I did look at that last night. Inferior. When it's opposition, this is quite an interesting one for the outer planets when they're at opposition, because it means they're actually directly opposite the sun in the sky to us. So it's when they look the brightest and look the biggest to us as well. Okay, they're closer to us then. But you only get that with the outer planets, obviously, because the inner ones don't go outside of us. Do you remember Tim told us about Eastern and Western elongation at one of the meetings last year? You've got the dates for those there as well. Okay, so maximum Eastern elongation, that's when it's high in the east, that would be in the morning, or maximum Western elongation at night. Okay, and this gives you the date when it's the furthest and closest points from the sun. Okay, period and period. So it looks confusing, but it's a good little chart, that one. And it does tell you what constellation it's in. And if you click on that, nice and handy, you get a little map of where you're going to look for it. Okay. So here's Taurus, that's the Hyades. You've got Venus and the Pleiades there. So it's ever so easy to find at the moment. Ever so easy. So I'll go back to the home page again. Now the next one, really, really good, this one, the comet page. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit later, just before I finish tonight, about Comet Atlas. It's actually splitting up. But I'll explain this first and I'll come back to that. So what you've got here is all the comets that are quite, fairly bright comets that are visible at the moment. So we've got Comet Atlas there, which is last magnitude seen with magnitude 8. And once again, if you click into this, the blue links, you get maps. Absolutely brilliant, this website, absolutely brilliant. So this is where it is at the moment. Okay, so there's Auriga, Charioteers, and you've got Ursa Major over here. So if you find Ursa Major, follow it across that way. You'll find the comet somewhere there. Don't go looking for it tonight. Full moon time is a waste of time looking for comets. Okay, it just washes everything out. And then this gives you a closer start. That square there is this square here, so it gives you, it zooms in on that area. start looking for these stars, and then the comet's going to be in the center. And the little map below that shows you its position in space at the moment. Once again, this is the plan view from above, coming in this angle. And this is more of a flat view of this orbit coming past the Earth. But the Earth is going to be further away once it gets closer. But you can, once again, even here, you can change the date in this as well. You can change the date at the top, so if you want to observe it a certain day, you can change it, and all the maps will change to let you know where you're going to see it. Just give you an example of that. If we go, let's go for the 20th. So you hit update, and everything changes. So that's where it's going to be on the 20th, right above Auriga. Okay. Really, really handy. Really handy. Yeah, where are we, comments? So let's go back in the comments again. So this will change obviously depending on what comet comes in and what comets are visible. But at the minute we're pretty lucky because we've got Atlas in Camelot. Yeah, I can never say that. You know which one it is. We've got Pan-STARRS, which is in Cassiopeia. We've got another Atlas, which is in Cassiopeia. And I say they're all around about 8 or 8.5 magnitude, so that's fairly bright for a comet when you get them up. It was going to be hoped that Atlas would get really, really comet. I think we've seen it in the paper, has been saying it's going to be the comet generation. But like I say, a report today from the Pop Astro site saying that it's actually been shown to be splitting up. I can show you a picture of that later on if you want to. But if it does split up, it's more than likely it's going to be nowhere near as spectacular as what it was planned to be. It is going to be visible at all. It might just break up and turn into nothing. As I said on Friday with comets, they're like cats, both have tails. They're totally unpredictable. Okay, so we'll just finish down here now. Asteroids, yeah, you can, if you want to try and chase asteroids, you need a fairly decent telescope for that, because asteroids are quite dim. You can have a look in there and it gives you, once again, like the comets, all the positions. Constellations, this is quite handy. You click into that one, because it gives you each constellation. You can choose whichever one you want up here. Okay. Let's go with one that everyone probably knows. Let's go down. They're all listed, all 88 of them. The Ursa Major. Bring them up here. And you got the denomination of each of them. If you know your Greek alphabet, alpha, beta, yeah, I don't remember it. I struggle enough with the English alphabet. But you come down here and it lists them all. Okay, and there's their names of them all, their apparent magnitude, right ascension declination, and their spectral type. If you're interested in stellar types, star types and designations, it's full of information for you there. Okay, you can choose whichever one you want. So if, let's say, you're out observing and it says so-and-so comet is near that star there, you know, you can get your star map up and you'll find out which one it is. Okay, we're nearly done. A couple of things left. Most of this is sort of, I've looked into, some of these don't actually work, but just go into them now and I can have a look. This is quite interesting, quite good. If you've got an Android phone, you can download the app, which is over here. Look, okay, really good. If it mainly does satellites though, more so than astronomy. So you can click in there and download the app to your phone as well. Really good if you're out at night. There's a little donate button for the for the website here. It's a free website. I do quite often drop a couple of pounds in there, to say thanks to them for giving us this information. Okay, so the statistics there are just mainly for them, but it's quite interesting. I went into the daily page count and it's up in hundreds of thousands. So it's a very, very, very popular website. And therefore, let's say it's nice just to drop a pound or two in there now and again. So that's Heavens Above. Just before if there are any questions, what I would do is I would just show you these other things that I was going to speak about. start off. John sent something through this morning. No, sorry, yesterday I think it was. I'm just going to see if I can find it again. History. I've got nothing in there that's going to embarrass anybody, I hope. Yeah, it's Science Learning at Home from Jodrell Bank. This is something you can join in with. There's a Watch the Skies, which is a series of different things, online videos that you can link into there. So we're all stuck at home. One thing to do, something a bit different than TV. Go to there and have a go. Okay. Now the other thing I was going to show you was the Comet Atlas breakup. I can do that one as well. So I better give you the actual web address of that before we go. So it's at jodrellbank.net. If you go in there, you'll find it. So here's one of the videos, the live lectures. Okay, you can watch that. So jodrellbank.net. I'll just go into here again. Science for Popular Astronomy. So popastro.com. This one's on. So I'm not going to read all this out. You can go in to the website and read it yourself. But this is Comet Atlas. And as you can see on the left-hand picture, it's quite bright. You see that was what date was the 29th, so the moon wouldn't be too much of a problem then. But then yesterday, after breaking up, the image on the image on the left was on the 29th. The image on the right there is on the 6th with moonlight, but you can see it's dimmed right there. It's actually split and broke. You can go in there and have a read of that yourself. Oh yes, the BAA webinar. Don't forget that's tomorrow night. To get into that one, there's that one there. We're at astro.org. Just go into that. Click into the BAA weekly webinars, and then just as you got into here tonight, at the bottom here, there's the link to join the webinar here. Okay. What they're going to try and plan to do tomorrow is to broadcast Venus live. So we were thought going in just have a look at that if nothing else. Just for finish off there, John Davis sent through the slides of his speech, his talk he done on Friday. If anybody wants that, let me know and I'll email it out to them. Okay. That's it. That's from me. So if anyone got any questions, I'm quite happy taking some questions on the website.